right, so mom shaming. Sadly, it is a huge issue in our culture and probably always will be. It's something that I'm very experienced in as a writer and a birth professional who puts my opinions out there. I have gotten the most intense backlash and shaming. And I wish I could say I just like brushed it off my shoulder, like, no big deal, I'm confident in myself and my parenting, those people don't matter. But it cut me. Oh my God, it hurt so bad each and every time I was shamed or judged. It hurts. And one of the biggest reasons is that as parents, the thing or the person we care about most, it's our child or our children, and being a good parent means more to us than anything. And we all have insecurities of like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Where's the manual? We want validation. We want validation that we're doing okay. But sadly, what we get more often is usually judgment and that shame. So that needs to change. And I'm going to offer some ideas on how we can start doing that. But first, let's kind of look at why this judgment and the shaming even happens. So as I'm sure you know, there are many different parenting camps with very different philosophies. And of course, each camp feels like their way is the right way. And if everybody just parented like this, all of the children of the world would be just perfect. Which is obviously bull. Every parent, every child is so unique and different. And what works great for one family won't work for another. We all have to find our own way. We sure read the different books, talk to different like professionals or parents that we admire, and pick and choose different things that we feel would work for our family, use trial and error. That's how you figure out the right way to parent for your family. You don't just blindly follow somebody else's prescription of what good parenting is. But when you do that, when you make certain choices, you're always going to piss somebody off, because when even like one of your parenting choices is different from somebody else's, if that person sees it and they're not, secure in their own choices and knowing that like, hey, it's cool if we make different decisions. If they're not like that, if they're like rigidly hanging on to what they think is right, if they see you doing something different, they're likely going to see that as you saying, my way is right and your way is wrong because I'm choosing a different way than you. And obviously you're not saying that. You're just trying to try something out with your kid to see if it works. But a lot of people see that as a threat, especially like our parents sometimes. If they see their children parenting their grandchildren in a vastly different way than they did it, they might see it as you saying, hey, I think you did this wrong and I'm going to make different choices. So it can be really triggering, everybody's parenting choices. So that's something that's really important to remember, is that somebody's judgments of you has so much more to do with their own stuff than you. They're just feeling threatened. They're feeling like on some level you're telling them that they're doing it wrong. So that's where it starts. And sadly, I know about the person that's shaming or judging being triggered, because I used to be a shamer. I used to do the shaming. For example, I had a friend that told me once, like, oh yeah, we totally cut screen time out for our kid and it's been great. They like to play outside more, da da da. And of course I didn't shame her to her face. I went behind her back like a civilized person. And I went and told my husband, I was like, there's no way they're actually doing that. I think she's just trying to make me feel bad for all the screen time our son gets. And I'm like, and if she is telling the truth, then their son is just going to be like totally obsessed with screens later on because he was deprived. I mean, I was just awful. Looking back at the stuff I said, it's like, ugh. So looking back at that, for me, I was triggered because I felt guilty for all the screen time that our son was getting, but I was like telling myself like, well, we have to do this. If I'm gonna get any work done, he has to get all that screen time. And I was feeling guilty. So her saying, yeah, we're doing less of it totally triggered me. And I was really cruel in what I said to my husband. And that was a big wake up call. I'm not saying that I'm perfect in any way and that I still don't like toss out judgments every now and then, but I'm trying to be better because I know how damaging it can be. Especially it's almost the most damaging for the person putting out the shaming and the judgment. It does not feel good to be that person. Okay, so what to do? To make sure this video isn't super duper long, I'm gonna make a follow-up video with like really specific suggestions for what to do when you receive judgment or shaming, how to get through that, how to get, more confident. But really the base of all of it, and I recommend watching that video because I've thought a lot about these suggestions. They're not perfect, they're not gonna work for everybody, but hopefully you find them helpful. Anyways, I digress. So the base of all of it is realizing that when you allow yourself to get really secure in your parenting choices and to consistently remind yourself that I am not perfect, but I am actively engaged in parenting. I am aware of my child, what they need, what I need, and it is okay for me to make different choices than other people. When the more and more secure that we get in ourselves as parents and our parenting choices, the less those judgments are going to impact us. They'll probably still hurt and be somewhat triggering, but they're not going to shatter us the way that I used to be shattered by that judgment. And so the follow-up video I'm going to make are different ways to really solidify and build that confidence so those judgments don't hurt as much. And something else I found that the more I did the work that I'm going to talk about in the next video, the less I was inclined to judge because I felt more confident and I didn't need to build my parenting confidence by judging others and being cruel about choices other people were making. I got to that place where I'm like, they're making a different choice. That's cool. I feel good about my choices. I'm glad that they're doing their thing. Kumbaya. So hopefully that helps you a bit if you are dealing with, the mom shame or the parenting shame. I know dads get it too. If you have any questions about this, anything else about pregnancy, childbirth, early motherhood, let me know in the comments below. And if you're interested in this topic, if you want more specific tips for how to deal with the mom shaming, listen to the follow-up video to this.